Hey, what's up everyone? In today's video we are continuing with an interesting ASSA lock models. This is an ASSA Twin 6K with Christmas tree pins. This is another lock that was loaned to me by Septclose, so again thank you man, you're being a real help with finding those super rare locks. So let's take a look at the key first. This is like your standard ASSA Twin 6K key with 6 top pins and bitting for some side pins right in here. So there's the first or the fifth, fourth, third, second and first side pin. So you can tell the heights of them. Nice housing with the slot for the sidebar visible as usual on the left side from this angle. Your typical Twin 6K keyway and counter milling present in all chambers except for 3. This milling is for gins or trees. So there's the widening of the chamber. We have a slot for a sidebar. We have 5 slots for side pins that are in these chambers. So what kind of pins can we expect in here? So let's talk about the main stack first, because that's where it gets interesting. So these are Christmas tree pins, but it's not the newest version. I think these are like really old Christmas tree pins, because the new ones, I wish I had the new ones somewhere here, but I don't. So the difference is that if you look at the bottom part, you can see that narrow like disc on the bottom, but as it goes to the narrow part above it, there is like a slope, and I think that's the difference if you compare it with the new style trees. That slope, it's not like a sharp border between the bottom part and the bottom narrow part, right? So there's like a slope, and I think that's what makes these trees not so effective when they engage in milling. As you will see, I was able to push most of them through the milling with a bit of counter rotation. Let's take a look at the sidebar. So side pins are all identical, like is normal in Twin 6K. They look like this, and they have the big through gate in the middle, and yeah, that's not a good focus, and false gates, 2 false gates above and 2 below. So that's like your normal 26K side pin, and they all have the through gate in the middle because the real code is in the sidebar itself. So if you look at the sidebar, we can see that it has these so-called fences in different heights, and that's what makes the sidebar code basically. And how it works is that I will just put one side pin in a chamber so I can demonstrate. Okay, let's take side pin number 1. There is a spring. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, this side pin exposes either a false or a true gate towards the sidebar channel, and if I insert the key, side pin starts to move, and if the key is inserted fully, it rests in a certain position that makes the sidebar sink into it, like this, right? So the sidebar is now flush with the plug and the lock can turn. So basically that's how this sidebar work and the side pins. Okay, let me just remove this so I don't lose it. So how do we pick these locks? So this specific lock with these kind of trees is not that hard like if it was with jeans. I think basically what you do in first phase is, as usual, you push all of these trees or this little gin into milling, and you try to set everything you can. You want to reach the point where the tree is at the bottom part or the lower narrow part, and after that you don't get any more feedback from this, so you move to the sidebar. That's actually the most difficult part of the 6K, I think, this one or any other one. So the way it works is that you are basically using a flag to bounce up the side pins in their chambers like this, right? You are getting under it and you just tap on it, and as soon as you feel that it gives, you push it up and it goes up a gate. Side pin that is in a through gate has some movement like up and down because the through gate is wider and it's not leaning towards the sidebar that hard like a false gate. A side pin in a false gate will have no movement at all and it will feel very stiff or solid. So there are many tricks how to deal with these side pins. I won't get into too much detail, but in this case I was able to sort of preset some side pins to their correct height, and by that I skipped the whole phase where I moved them up gate by gate, and I actually avoided dropping a lot of other side pins. So that's a pretty common issue, dropping side pins or ping-ponging, but I was able to bypass that by pushing a side pin or finding a certain rotation of the plug where I was able to push the side pin all the way up towards its through gate. So yeah, that's basically how I did it. And yeah, in this last phase, as you will see, the trees actually did not engage into milling too much. And as I mentioned, I think it's due to the shape. There is a little slope on the bottom of the tree. So they behave basically like spools until the last one. The last one, you can see that's basically how they engage in milling, like this. But yeah, this slope on the bottom, that made it easier, I think. I wish I had a normal tree to compare. So by the slope I mean this part. It's difficult to show, but this part on the bottom, that is like this, right? So yeah, I only had to float pick the last one in order to get the open. So yeah, it looks really cool, and I love that I could try these trees, but I think ASSA made a quick realization that they need to redesign these trees. So that's why this log is so rare, because you don't find these trees anymore. And yeah, it was produced for a really short time, I think. So thank you again, Sept, for loaning it to me. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it I wanted to talk about. So to pick this lock, I used a 1.3 millimeter pry bar from Moki and another pick from Moki, this flat hook, a steep one. And for the side pins, you don't actually have to use the MP10 like per usual, but I think I use this number 5, or you can also use number 6, it's up to you, but the bottom of the keyway is pretty wide, so that's acceptable. All right, guys, hopefully That's it, and let us pick the lock. All right, here we go. It works. And let's start with the ASSA Twin 6K with trees. So first of all, let's just push everything we can into milling. Let's click on 5. Counter rotation and click on 2. Counter rotation and click on 3. And I really want to make sure I will push everything I can into the milling, so I don't have too much work later and I don't drop stuff as I approach the third phase. Okay, so 5, 6 is still binding with some counter rotation too. Okay, click there. 5 dropped, click there. Okay, let's just go through this again. All right, I think we can move towards the sidebar. So 1 is loose, 2 is loose, 3 is binding. Mount him up a gate, still binding. Okay, now it's good. 4 is binding. Moved 4 up. I think I dropped 3 though. Yes. 1 gate. And the second. Okay. 3 and 4 both feel good. 1. Click there. I can actually force it through, which is nice. 2. Click there, full set. 2 is still binding. Okay, pushed him up a gate, still binding. Pushed him more. 1 dropped, it looks like. Okay. Okay, pushed 1 up, it's still binding. Okay, 1 is good now, but 2 has dropped 1 gate. Try to set 2 without dropping 1. Okay, I don't think I managed to do that right. 1 has indeed dropped. So I'll try to push it all the way up. Okay, without dropping 2. I think I managed to do that. Okay, 3 is... I think 3 might be actually good. 4 probably 2. So let's try 5. That's binding. Okay. 1 gate still binding. The other gate. Okay. Okay, so the pins, actually the side pins feel pretty much good now. So let's see if we can move to the third phase. That's the main stack. Okay, so in this phase, in this lock, the trees are actually not engaged fully in the milling because of the shape, I think. So again, I'm trying to push everything up just by force, not float picking anything, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, that went pretty well. 4, still getting counter rotation, so that's good. Okay, set 4, 1 dropped. Okay, 1 is set, 2 is good, 3 is good, 4 is good. 5 is counter rotating. So if the trees were like another shape, like if they were new trees, I would not be able to do this. But I'm still getting counter rotation out of them. So I'm just pushing them through. That's all I'm doing. Okay, so everything looks pretty good now. The faucet is pretty deep. And 6 is in the milling, and I'm not able to force this through. So you can see that it's only now that the tree is actually engaged in milling and stuck there. I had to reach this point, this depth of a faucet. So all of the other trees were just half binding in the milling and they did not work properly. So now I have to float pick just one pin, and that's 6. Not yet. Okay, it's up, but I think I dropped something on my way there. That's fine. I think it was 5, okay. And 5 is actually engaged pretty well since 6 is set. So I had to float pick a little. Okay, there's the open. So that's nice. And now it's time to gut. Okay, so I'll use this top plate to gut the top because that's more convenient and actually a bit safer. Okay, so let's just grab those springs. Or can I do just this? Well, kind of. So this is a normal gin because that's like a really low lift. I don't know. Well, it kinda works. Yeah, this is a 3. Another 3. Another 3. Okay, spring is on the ground, but I will get it later. Okay, there's the last keeping. Let me just check if I can locate the spring real quick. Well, I cannot. I don't see it from here. Okay, so I'll just find it later. Okay, so now let's just undo these screws. So we can get the side pins and sidebar out. Okay. Tweezers. Don't lose this, of course. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Milling. And a little close-up. And that's pretty much it for today, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I also hope I will find this spring and see you with the next one, hopefully real soon. Bye.